Into the ropes and off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Got to hold it just a minute. You want a little bit more?
I'm the world heavyweight champion.
Gotta be the best of me. More to me than anything I've ever done in wrestling.
They call this the 10 pounds of gold. The championship has existed in its current proper form since 19.
That was pretty good. And look at Buddy going to work now. Oh.
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me for Season 2 of Billy Corgan's NWA. Our TEW 2020 series has been running for a couple months now. Obviously, the holdover from our TEW 2016 days. We're doing strong. This has actually been, I think, my favorite save we've done so far. And I'm very happy to continue with it here on Season 2. Not much of a delay either. We just had Starrcade, which was a nice sort of end point for what some of the stuff that we were doing. Obviously, some of these storylines are still carrying over, but some of them are going to be probably wrapping up as we move into new things. I have a whole bunch of new storylines set up in our storylines tab, which is a secret. You guys can't see it. But we do have a ton of new things that have happened for Starrcade. Obviously, the big one is, I would say spoilers, but it'd be kind of weird for you to be watching Season 2, Episode 1 instead. Obviously, Brian Pillman is now our NWA champion. It's been a hell of a long time for the opportunity. We only gave Miro a short run. It doesn't mean this is only run. And obviously, you know, it's kind of been a weird holding pattern for Brody, who had 0 defenses, had it once and then lost it. Miro had 1 defense and 1 victory. And Pillman's trajectory here is uncertain. Obviously, he won quickly against Miro, but, you know, it only takes 3 seconds to win, and it's a lot harder to keep the title than to win it. So it'll be interesting to see if Miro gets a rematch, how that will play out. And how it'll play out with the other elements in the NWA as now that he is on top. Obviously, Natty won our women's title, defeating Tessa, who had 2 defenses. Had it for a bit, too. She had the belt technically from January on. She hasn't had that many title defenses, but we've been trying to keep it a little sparse in terms of our defenses. And then we got Von Erich, still the World Tag Team Champions. Now kind of going full heel, which actually that reminds me, we really should probably reset this here. Get the Von Erichs fully heel, start turning them. Right here, turn, prepare that turn. Because they're going bad, man. They're following their father's footsteps here. It's kind of weird because the Von Erichs, in my recollection, never really bad guys. So we're kind of doing the inversion of what their careers were, where they were kind of the perennial goody two shoes of the Midwest and you know, Southwest regions. We're kind of giving them that. Or do they have any? Better as babyface, that's fine. I like better as is fine because we can always turn them back again. But that'll keep the dynamic between them and Kevin, their dad, a little bit more interesting, and you know, make it a little more dynamic between them, where they're not just faces with a heel manager, which is kind of weird. We do have some negotiations on the way, so hopefully we have to get some people coming in. One of which is we have to grab Cash, who's leaving. We cannot negotiate with him right now. And that's just because it's in his final week. We'll pick him right up. It's not a big deal at all. But like I said, we have a lot of new storylines to go through, so we'll get over to this power. I do want to mention, if you're not part of our Discord, join it, because very shortly, we'll set up the announcement this episode, but probably sometime next week, gonna have a live stream for this save, and I'm going to announce it in the Discord, so you'll know about it ahead of time when it's going to happen, only if you're a member of the Discord. And part of the reason why is we're going to be doing a tournament called the Circle Squared Tournament. It's going to be a 16-man tournament. I'm pretty sure that is 16, I think, is what we're going to go with. Instead of 32 would be a little ridiculous. They're all going to be young lions or people that have been like, I think like under 30, basically. They have to be young wrestlers to get an opportunity to join the roster. And we're going to be picking those. I'm going to decide who wins and who moves on in the tournament. But you guys in the Discord, and thus in the live stream, will have the opportunity to pick sort of your champions. Everyone will get a chance to pick one person. And if there's not enough people to go around in terms of people picking, they will pick multiple ones or stuff like that. And it's going to be interesting to see who you guys want to add in from the roster. So we'll just have a live stream. We'll go through everything. The other thing we're going to do is probably groom the roster out. Not necessarily let people go, but we might send people over to our new child company of CZW, which we're going to probably name like NWA Tri-State or something. Right now we'll keep it CZW. I know someone requested to remove Hyde as Booker and CEO. We'll keep him here for now. But what we can do is we can send people down to CZW now for developmental, or we could send them down as an excursion for an entire year. And we'll probably send some of our roster down there that we're just not using that much. Some people that are like, unimportant, maybe even recognizable, that just don't have a lot of skill set here. Like Skylar's already there, but we could just send her away. Or Sean Studd if we want to develop him a little bit more and bring him back, or Ricky Ruffin even. So there's some options of people that we could send down to groom out the roster, or even some bigger names we can send down for a little bit to kind of help out. We could just send a loan, and just send them down that way. Definitely a option. I think we can do that. We can't do that because they're not part of our alliance. So it would have to be a developmental, which is fine. Not a big deal. Unless there's something I'm missing. Maybe there is. Where's that talk to company button? So maybe that's part of the relationships we could set up. Just set it up here. Combat zone, negotiate. Proposed talent trading agreement. Perfect. Oh, as you own them. So, okay, well, we can't do that because I can just send people down there. Right. Well, whatever. So, I think it would have to be a developmental, but we could just send them down, and send them developmental. So if there's somebody, that we want to maybe even help out CZW a bit, we can give them like a big name for a little bit. And, we wanted to be like, oh, hey, we need, Brody Lee, we're not doing anything with it right now or something like that. We could send him away to developmental, and just send him down there, and he could help out and probably boost their popularity immensely too, actually. And if we're not using him for a little bit, it's a nice way to rotate out people. All right, we got Power in 4 days. We're giving a little bit time to hopefully get some of the negotiations in, because I think it was originally scheduled to happen like tomorrow, and I need a little bit more time. I want to get some of the names in to start season 2 off the correct way. But hopefully we can get them in. Let's go see. All right, we do have some negotiations in. I'm hoping that it's everybody, but I have about 3 names in there. It's not, but we got the most important one. Tim Storm Jr. Can we talk about Tim Storm Jr.? So we also got Willow Nightingale, a former Chikara wrestler. We're going to try to boost up our women's division a little bit, give some fresh eyes in there. We are still waiting for Crazy Mary from CZW to come up our way, and Ryback. And obviously we're waiting for Dax to call back. The Ryback one was the one we're really looking for, because that was going to start some of our storylines. But unfortunately, doesn't seem like it's going to be an option. We also need to renegotiate with Cash here real quick. there a way to do it from here? Catch Wheeler. I really wish you could just... There it is. Negotiate. So blah, 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 blah. That's all fine. Just say, yeah, ongoing contract. We'll pull him in, and obviously FTR won the second shot, so they have an opportunity to be here. And like I said, that doesn't mean that people that were in the second shot aren't here as well. It's just that they didn't necessarily, get a contract as a tag team. So we took AR Fox, who I'm really excited about. I think we're going to do some great things with him. Excited to see what he can do. He's got some great aerial work, great flashiness. We could do some interesting stuff with him as a character. So that's going to be a lot of fun, though. He's annoyed that he caused an injury. He caused extreme bedhead for Lance Archer. But it is what it is. Who else did we bring over? Oh, we have Pentagon, who we actually have to change his name here. I'm not a big fan of the Pentagon L0 blah 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 blah. And we could keep him as Pentagon Pentagon Jr., but we're gonna do we're gonna bring back Pentagon Dark. We're gonna bring him back from his Lucha Underground days. In fact, can we get one of his old? I think that one will do. This Pentagon Black. Oh no. There we go. Perfect. What's your gimmick too? Sierra Mirdo? Yeah. Okay, that'll still work. But yeah, we're gonna bring him back. He's gonna be involved in some storylines going forward. So we brought some people over, and obviously Danhausen and Warhorse don't work here, so they never had a contract signed. They're just sort of hanging around and don't for some reason get matches. But yeah, we wanted Tim Storm. We used a AI to neural network to generate us a child for Tim Storm. So welcome 18-year-old Tim Storm Jr., unknown to the world, rookie, just debuted in August. We gave him average skills, so I didn't want him to be overpowered. And we have a random potential, so we have no idea whether he's going to be good or bad. We know he's going to be average, so he's not going to be great, but we wanted to make him like really poor, because he would be a detriment. But he's the son, so we need to also set up as a manager. Dad is going to manage him, which I think works nicely. Gives him something to do, keeps him on the show, and so we got Tim Storm Jr. We'll do some stuff with him. All right, let's get on over to the show here. Oh, we actually had one more day to go. Yes, okay, cool. So we got everybody in that we needed. Obviously, we won't have Dax and Cash, but they don't need to be on the show tonight. The Ryback was actually kind of essential because we needed him for a story beat. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's get to the show here. All right, we do not want to be in Full Sail. Go to our arena. Backstage incidents. We got two. Hopefully nothing too bad here. We got Buddy Royal. That's the other thing during the live stream. We have to get rid of some of the people that are still hanging around on contracts that I might have screwed up, that don't work here anymore, like Buddy Royal, and unless we want to keep them. So we're during that live stream after we decide the Circle Square people, we're gonna do some future endeavors and decide who gets to get sent on developmental, who we just get rid of, and who maybe we keep signed on. And some of that might also be developing a stronger women's division, and that might mean letting some people go. I think I'm just going to send them to CZ Dub. So like Marty Bell, probably we're going to have to get rid of, and hopefully maybe develop her off air to something better. So keep in mind that is going to be part of that. And if you want to be notified when that happens, we're going to give you a heads up on the Discord. It should have a link in the description of this video. I would like to see more people there. It's a pretty tight-knit community, and it's nice to have some more faces in there to talk about wrestling. And going back to this incident, what do we have going on here? Was brought before a wrestler's court and accused of being absorbed in his phone. All right. And there's some more protege work. This is a problem because Josh Woods is also supposed to... Well, both of these guys are supposed to also be off the show. And we're going to have to get rid of all of them at once because if I got rid of Josh Woods, Ricky Morton is going to be really upset. He's been passing on tips on psychology. I mean, unless we keep these guys, I guess is also an option. It's not a big deal, one way or the other. But anyways, let us get our locker room controls. I'm a little concerned about, I think AR Fox has had some tension between them. I don't know if we can... Lance Archer's professional. Really had a chance of failing to achieve anything. Let's try. Oh! Okay, so that's a problem. It's a bit of a problem. It's not a huge deal. Lance Archer's not a worker here. Sort of. He's just an Alliance member, he has our Alliance belt, but that's not the direction that we want. All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Maybe we won't have them wrestle anytime soon together. That's fine. We got a 2-hour power to go through. Let's go ahead and book our first show of the season and start some of our new storylines. Alright guys, something I never expected to say. I don't think the 2 hours was enough time. We had to cram a lot of stuff in this episode, and we didn't get to half of what I want to do for the beginning of Season 2. But, we're starting here. So let's go ahead and let's run our 2-hour power and see what happens in the next era of the NWA. We start the show off with Tim Storm debuting his son, Tim Storm Jr. He comes back to the NWA, still a little injured from his match, says he's happy to be back, but also happy to introduce to you his son, who's been training hard, and he thinks he has quite a bit of promise, and is very excited to show him off to his family here in the NWA. Storm Jr. gets a pretty good, a very good rating for his gimmick, which is an old school face gimmick, just, typical goody two shoes. We're going to make him kind of a blue chip prospect, but I'm curious to see how he does in the ring. Gets a segment rating of a 30, which is not horrible by any stretch of imagination for this early in the night, but, not great either. Let's go on and move on to the match. We have him fight... Ooh! It's actually pretty bad. Tim Storm Jr. and Caleb Conley. Tim Storm had a 10. Caleb had a 34. Storm should have theoretically had like a 30-something, but I'm guessing this chemistry issue was the problem. So he kind of stunk it up. Had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Tim Storm Jr. defeats Caleb in 7 minutes by pinfall. Pisses off Caleb a little bit, too. Which might be where the chemistry problem hit here. Not a great debut for him. Something we might have to protect him for a little bit of his moveset. Now, he's a young lion, so theoretically he should improve quickly if he has any potential. So we'll have to see. But not a great debut. I guess it's in in canon for a Tim Storm match, I suppose, that his son's not the best either. Anyways, we have what the hell? I don't know why Madison Eagles is in that, but it's supposed to be Billy Corgan, or it's supposed to be Miro. Oh man, that's a bummer. Well, that's gonna hurt that rating quite a bit. Oh man. Backstage, Miro is in Billy Corgan's office, venting about in broken English and Bulgarian. He's furious. Apparently Madison Eagles is playing Miro. Oops. But guess I clicked the wrong thing. He's furious about his loss and wants an immediate rematch. Corgan tries to explain to him that it doesn't work that way, and that he'll have a match tonight, and if he wins, he can become the number one contender. And he says to Miro, he's like, listen, I know you want to compete, that you want to have a shot here. I don't know. Pillman's not even supposed to be in here. I don't know what happened to the booking of this. It's crazy. I guess I did not click the right things, but it's supposed to be Pinky George, Billy Corgan, and then Miro. So apparently, I guess the quick selection that I did was maybe erroneous, but oh well. Definitely screws up the segment, but it'll be fine. Because Miro, I know you want to compete, you want to have a title shot, but I brought you here to keep this company fair and honest. We had a major victory. The boardroom is no more. Pinky is losing control, and soon this company will be about sportsmanship again. Don't worry, you'll get you an opportunity again. I promise. Meanwhile, the camera cuts over to a conference room where Pinky is having a conference call, and he is explaining to the mysterious benefactors that kind of run him how his alliance dissolved and that he has a plan. He goes, "Don't worry, I have a plan B. I have an ace in the sleeve that I'll be debuting tonight. We'll keep this ship afloat. We're not going to have any more problems." And the voice ominously says, "For your sake, I hope you do." Cooled the crowd a little bit. This is a massive mess up here that definitely affected the segment rating. Thankfully, it wasn't going to be too much of a segment in terms of a segment gain here, because Pinky's just fine. Corgan's not great. Actually, Corgan wasn't even rated in this. It was going to be Miro on like Menace. So everything got all screwed up here. Oh well. Saving the show a little bit, we have a tag team match between, I guess you could call it Team CZW. We got Skylar and Crazy Mary Dobson debuting against Willow Nightingale and Bianca Corelli. It's a poor match, though, but honestly, it's not too bad. Crazy Mary and Skylar defeat Willow and Bianca in 11 minutes. Crazy Mary gets the win and pins Bianca with a split-leg moonsault. And she did carry the match. She had a 50, which is a pretty good debut match here. Skylar had a 30, Bianca had a 23, and Willow had a 33. So Willow's not too bad, too. 33 isn't horrendous, but we would definitely want more 50 and above in our women's division. So we got to kind of start to groom out some people. But I think Crazy Mary is going to be a good get for us. Gets us a 39 on the show. Crazy Mary gets a great extremist gimmick rating, and Willow gets a awful one. Skylar seemed a little bit off her game. She's not usually that much off, though, so 30 is not that bad for her. I think she usually hovers around like 35. Got the crowd interested again in the actual show after we cooled it off with some bad openers here. Starts to right the ship a little bit. Afterwards, we have a video vignette backstage. Actually, not backstage. It's actually a video vignette at night, recorded in the woods. Nicole Josephus enter a misty forest, and Cabana goes and uses a torch to light a large pyre ablaze. And in front of the fire, as it flickers, Josephus turns and speaks to the camera. And he says, "You know, for so long, I thought I knew the true path. I spoke to those who believed, allowing all that accepted the light in their heart to join us on our path together. But I was misguided. I was misinformed. The visions were not clarity, but cloudy and deceptive." He casts his book his sermons into the fire, and the pages dance and curl as they get licked by the flames. But now I have learned the truth from a new master, and I know where we went wrong. We must not fear in this new journey. We must not accept weakness into our hearts, because many of us will not survive this new journey. Connor and Victor are then seen in the background dragging a hooded, grounded Gordon through the dirt towards the fire before lifting the hood, the cloak head off of him. He goes, and Josephus ends up continuing and saying, and some of us don't deserve to. The camera then fades to black before cutting off on Gordon's screams being heard in the background. Colbana was trying to improvise dialogue, I guess, when he was lighting the camera up, the pyre. Didn't go well, but Josephus did it very well in the segment. It gets us a 34, not too bad. And here we go. Here's a match. This is what we're looking for. The second actual wrestling, or third wrestling match of the show, but a first real one here with this rating. We got Matt Cross versus AR Fox. I'm starting to feel bad about Matt Cross. I feel like he keeps on just coming into losing. He's like a pin-eating machine for us right now. It had good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. AR Fox does defeat Matt Cross in 5 minutes by pinfall. Matt had a 50, AR Fox had a 58 in this match. Segment gave us a 56, pretty good. Good sort of a rubber band for AR Fox to get a win back after having lost his challenge against Lance Archer. But poor Matt Cross, we got to give him something to do. And perhaps we are doing so, though we should have given him something to script. I don't know why it defaults to off script. It's very annoying. I always forget to change it, but we were rating Matt on entertainment, I believe. But after the match, and after AR Fox leaves, Matt Cross is going towards the apron, or the gorilla position, obviously, and he sees Eddie Kingston, who's been kind of out there a lot lately, looking at these losers, and motions him over, and he starts talking to him, and get deep in a conversation. Obviously, we can't hear it, and Kingston kind of shows him through the curtain into the back. Eddie Kingston's up to something, and he keeps on talking to a menagerie of weirdos and losers to do something, and he seems to have gotten Matt Cross's attention in the process. It's a 36. It's not bad, not great. Also not great here. We have a segment where Pinky comes out and debuts his new weapon, the Returning Ryback. Ryback was actually part of our very, very first season of NWA, when I was just kind of learning the ropes. So this is technically all in that continuity. So he returns, gets a great segment, where he gets a great rating for his badass gimmick. Fortunately, the segment itself suffers. A lot of it has to do with Pinky there. I like the whole Pinky storyline, but we're kind of moving to a new thing, and I'm kind of happy about it, because we do need something for a segment rating. We almost need like a GM that can really carry the show. Afterwards, we have a handicap match, which is kind of fun. Lance Archer coming back into the NWA, still our Alliance champion, and having a tag team handicap match against the Villains for Hire. Lance does okay, 59. Brody suffers in the match, 29, and PCO has a 40. Lance defeats both of them in a handicap match. It's actually a 6-minute match. It's actually pretty long. He pins PCO with a blackout and carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, obviously. Brody just very suffering in terms of skill set. I think we're going to send the Villains down to CZW. I think giving Brody some time off to start to develop, it will be helpful for him. Overall, though, was pretty good. Lance Archer was in amazing form, got the crowd buzzing. 40s, not too bad. And We got an angle afterwards. The main event is announced for the night. We know that Miro is going to be fighting for the number 1 contendership, and it's announced that he will be fighting against Nick Aldis, and that will be the main event. The winner of that will get a shot at the title at a undetermined date against Brian Pillman. Chaos, though, starts to ensue as the commentators announce this. First, Pinky George comes out to the announce table with a Ryback and announces that it's actually now going to be a triple threat ladder match because Ryback deserves a title shot right away, according to him. As the announcers go, okay, boss, and announce it, the situation further breaks down as Eli Drake furiously walks from backstage and rips the microphone out of Gavin Loudspeaker's hand. He goes, "Now I'm sick of this bullshit," says Drake. Miro, I understand, gets a shot here. I understand that. But I beat that man up there tonight. He points at Nick Aldis, who is, at the stage still kind of being commented on. And now what? This reject gets a shot in front of me, obviously pointing at Ryback. See, this is why I left your stupid group, Pinky. You make all these promises, constant promises of propping us up, giving us our opportunities. But at the end of the day, we were always just disposable. Well, I'm not going to let this walking thumb step in front of me. I already talked to Corgan. I'm in that match. So you might as well just announce it now. Make it a 4-way. And gives the microphone back to Gavin, who kind of shakingly confirms it. Says, okay, well, I guess a 4-way ladder match for the number 1 contendership it is. It's kind of an interesting dynamic between the 4 of them there. We start some storylines, obviously. Future NWA storyline starts, and Tale of Two Titles starts to begin. And Eli Drake was very good going off script and just kind of venting, maybe some real frustrations about his booking in NWA here. Gets a segment of 57, pretty good. And we have a Medallion match, which I didn't have time to actually officially announce, so I'm announcing it now. It's a Medallion match with Ace Austin versus Wheeler Yuda. It's a pretty good match, actually. It's Ace Austin defeats Wheeler Yuda in 7 minutes by pinfall with a house of cards, following interference from Matthias Breeze. Obviously, that's Tyler Breeze, who debuted on Starrcade. So Austin had a 55, Wheeler had a 41. We advanced the Smoke and Aces storyline, and it's pretty good, 56. So now Austin has a medallion as well. Actually, that's the last medallion accounted for. And if we go into the next segment, we see that Ace Austin kind of celebrates with the Smoke and Aces team, and officially Breeze joins the Smoke and Aces with them, and the Aces show off all of their medallions. They currently have 3. Zicky has 1, Jarek 120 has 1, Ace Austin has 1, and the remaining 2 other medallions are currently in Eddie Kingston's possession. So at this point, they're going to have to face each other in matches to consolidate these medallions. So we continue to advance the storyline. We actually lose some heat with it here. It gets a 37. The star power here is a little difficult to maintain, unfortunately. Afterwards, we have a pretty okay match with Kimberly versus Madison Eagles, with Nicole Matthews standing by ringside. Madison Eagles having a odd night tonight as pretending to be Miro. But overall, though, this match is pretty okay, though it didn't have much heat attached to it, obviously because it's just kind of the first time we're doing it. Madison Eagles defeats Kimberly in 9 minutes by pinfall with a Heaven Sent, following some interference from Nicole Matthews. Some distractions and interference tonight happening. We advanced the Thought Crime storyline. Kimberly had a 43 and Madison Eagles had a 46. Gives us a 49 for the rating. Overall, not too bad. Afterwards, we have a quick angle where Madison Eagles and Nicole Matthews start to just assault Kimberly and leave her on the ground, and clearly are targeting her in their sort of their crusade against the women's division. Seems like they've made a target of Kimberly. We lose some heat from this segment, unfortunately. It gets us a 37. Not great, but not horrible. We also have Contra Unit in a tag team match against a War Machine. Contra Unit win against War Machine. Fatu pins Hansen after a Samoan drop. Fatu had a 60, Machete had a 31, Rowe had a 41, and Hansen had a 46, giving Contra another win after 2 losses. Obviously, they've actually had quite a few wins, but they've lost twice now against the actual tag team champions, both through shenanigans, and it looks like they're taking it out on War Machine a little bit. Gets a 44, it's not too bad. And in our main event, we have Eli Drake versus Ryback versus Miro versus Nick Aldis in a ladder match for a number 1 contendership. It's a pretty good match. Eli Drake actually ekes the win out, defeating Ryback, Miro, and Nick Aldis in the ladder match with an item retrieval. Miro actually carried the match in the performance, certainly did at 73, but it was actually a poor choice for the audience, which is interesting. We advanced 2 storylines simultaneously because some people are in multiple ones. Gets a 45. Could have been better. Did get the match with the crowd buzzing. And an unexpected win for a number 1 contendership. So Eli Drake kind of sneaks it out there. It was seething after the match. Eli Drake upset, apparently, that Miro almost injured him with a botched move. How do we have Ryback in a match, but it's Miro that almost injures somebody? So we have to manage those tensions. At the end of the show, though, we have our match ending, just kind of pinpointing how it all falls apart. Miro and Ryback just start pummeling each other during the match and end up actually taking each other out in the ring, and out of the ring itself, leaving Nick Aldis and Drake together. Aldis climbs the ladder, but Drake is right behind him. The 2 fight on top of the ladder before Aldis gets knocked off, and Drake retrieves the number 1 contendership contract. This is probably like a briefcase, something like a pole match. Leaving Eli Drake, the champion, kind of steals the match, keeps Miro and Ryback protected, continues the animosity between Aldis and him, and gives Drake an opportunity to face Pillman. So we end with a 51. Could have been worse, could have been better. It's not too bad. I'm a little upset with this show's ratings, but I think we screwed up some stuff. 49 overall is not too bad. I'm happy that we changed our time slot, because this would have been another one that we would have failed on. The real bummer is that Tim Storm match could have been a lot better. And then some of the mishaps with the promos could have gone better, but looking at some of this, there's a lot of green in here, and that's not too bad. We want some more of that. If we could just get some of this yellow out of the way, we actually would have probably had something like a 55 for the night. Overall, though, we still advance our popularity in 25 regions. There's not that much to complain about. Overall, not a bad show. All right, we got some decisions to make. Looks like it is our contract negotiations. That is fine. We got a pay raise request from Ace Austin. Sure, we'll just give him the full thing, make him happy. It's really not that much. So we just need cash back in, and we'll have everything. And what do we got going on? AR Fox says PCO can't sell anything worth a damn. That's true. And Eli Drake says Matt Cross does not connect with the fans. You should probably write him off. Damn. And Crazy Mary says Matt Cross doesn't connect. Man, why is everyone going after poor Matt Cross, man? What is going on? Overall, though, we were told that the show was excellent and went down really, really well. So, not too bad. I could have been better. We actually had a lot of story elements that we did not get a chance to get in, but we'll have the next power for that. Caleb Conley, very angry at his match in NWA. We will have to deal with that, but we'll save that for the next episode. This one's gone long enough. Thank you guys for joining me for our season premiere. Remember to sign up and join the Discord. That description should have the link right in it, and get notified when we do our live stream. so that you can be part of setting up that tournament, as well as some of our roster signings and firing for the new season. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I'll see you next time.